Aaron.
Recording now. All right. Good afternoon and welcome to CTA Construction Talks. Today is Monday, October 27th, 2025. I will be your facilitator, Vernell Turner, Senior Coordinator of Workforce Initiatives for the Diversity Programs Department at Chicago Transit Authority. Construction Talks are every fourth Mondays at noon, and thank you all for being here for our very first newly launched Construction Talks.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
All right. So our details are on the screen. Today's topic is careers and skills trades. Again, I will be your facilitator, Vernell Turner, Senior Coordinator of Workforce Initiatives for CTA. And we have two wonderful guest speakers with us today. Beatrice Thompson is with us. She's the business representative for International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 134. Thank you so much for being here with us, Beatrice.
Thank you for the invite.
We also have Marcus Jordan with us. He is the outreach coordinator for the International Union of Operating Engineers, Local 150. Thank you so much for being with us today, Marcus.
No, thank you for having me. Thank you.
All right. After we hear from our guest speakers and some information from myself first about construction talks and careers and skills trades, we will do a brief Q&A via chat. So if you are joining us today, please wait until the end of the speaker talks for your questions. And all participants will be muted during our speaker talks. But we do want to hear from you if you have questions. So feel free to go ahead and put them in the chat and we'll be sure to address them at that point. After that, you will hear about upcoming workforce events and staying connected with workforce initiatives. All right, so let's get it started. CTA Diversity Program Workforce Initiatives team collaborates with building trades, construction contractors, and various community groups and residents in order to monitor workforce goals on CTA construction contracts and provide construction contractors with skilled labor to build and improve Chicago's transit infrastructure. Our team works with these stakeholders to, one, inform the public of job openings on CTA construction projects at various outreach events. Two, provide access to training for skills improvement and to personalize career coaching through collaboration with our workforce partners. Three, connect our contractors to residents, community groups, and other stakeholders that can provide skilled labor talent. And four, collaborate with building trades to increase awareness of apprenticeships and advocate for construction career pathways. So that's a little bit about what the CTA Diversity Programs Workforce Initiatives team does. But I want to circle back around to one of our workforce initiatives that you're here for today, and that's our Construction Talk series. The question of the day is, what are construction talks? Well, Construction Talks are a virtual hour-long monthly webinar to engage prime contractors, subcontractors, building trades, skilled workers, community groups, youth, and anyone or any institution interested and vested in careers in construction. The construction industry is an in-demand industry in the Midwest, which means there are an abundance of job opportunities and steady employment for skilled workers. There is a growing need for training programs and apprenticeships to prepare new workers, and contractors, suppliers, and investors can expect strong demand and profitable projects in the foreseeable future. For hosting construction talks is to educate and engage these stakeholders about construction careers, deepen stakeholder understanding of CTA workforce initiatives, and inspire participation in the industry through monthly virtual webinars. Construction talks will be held on the fourth Mondays of each month at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, unless otherwise indicated. You may be thinking, why does CTA care so much about people going into construction? Well, it is because CTA is committed to leveraging our capital investments to create opportunities for low-income workers, apprentices, and residents of economically disadvantaged areas. As the CTA continues to enhance the quality of public transportation services, the need for a construction workforce pipeline remains evident. CTA construction projects and career outlook. CTA's Red Line Extension project alone is expected to create 2,500 direct and indirect construction jobs annually. And that's just one of our infrastructure projects that we're still excited about. Other current and upcoming construction projects include Red Line Extension Project, ASAP Lakeline Austin Station, Congress Line Phase 1 Racine Station, Ravenswood Line Western Station, the Red and Purple Modernization Project, also known as RPM, Substation Roof Replacement Program, Substation Upgrades, and the upcoming TACO project, which stands for Training and Control Center, just to name a few. Aside from opportunities with CTA construction contractors, the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics report that overall employment of construction laborers and helpers is projected to grow 7% from 2023 to 2033, faster than the average for all occupations. It also states 154,900 openings for construction laborers and helpers are projected each year on average over the next decade. The Bureau of Labor Statistics Occupational Outlook Handbook also reports that the average annual wage for construction and extraction occupations for the next decade is on average, and this is a national average, $102,420 a year. Now that is a national average, which could be more depending on your local area. Here you can see the salary breakdown by skills for a few popular trades, or I should say the top 5 trades utilized by construction on CTA projects from 2020 to 2024. If you want to look up this information for yourself, you can find it at www.bls.gov. In 2023, the Bureau of Labor Statistics reported carpenters' national average salary, not the highest, but the average salary, comes in at $56,350 per year. Drywall installers' average salary, $57,010 a year. Iron workers, $60,780 per year. Electricians' average salary is projected to be $61,590 per year. And this is the year 1 salary as an apprentice for the national average. Sheet metal workers' average salary was reported at $58,780 per year. And plumbers' average salary is projected to be $61,550 per year. In the Midwest region, these salary averages can be even higher as tradesmen progress in years of experience. I want to stop here and transition to our guest speakers who have more than just researchable information to share. They have years of knowledge and experience in the construction industry, and we are so grateful to have them with us today to share their wealth of experiential knowledge and learning. Our guest speakers today again, and it is my pleasure to introduce them to you again. We have the business representative for the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 134, and 2024 recipient of the Crain's 2024 Notable Leader in Sustainability Award, and advisory board member for CTA's Workforce Advisory Committee, none other than Ms. Beatrice B. Thompson.
Good morning, or afternoon, shall I say?
Good afternoon. And we also have outreach coordinator of the International Union of Operating Engineers, Local 150, and well-known champion in the labor movement and in workforce development. He was the recipient of a grand award at the Engineering Excellence Awards and has been recognized for his work in various boards and committees, such as the Lake County Workforce Board, and also member of our very own CTA Workforce Advisory Committee, Mr. Marcus Jordan.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for having me.
It is such a pleasure. So without any further delay, let's jump into some questions. Is it okay if I start with you, B?
Go ahead, I'm ready, hopefully.
Okie dokie. My first question for you, B, is for those interested in pursuing a career as an electrician, what are the benefits of becoming unionized with IBEW Local 134?
Okay, well, there are multiple benefits to being a member of IBEW Local 134. Let's start with the obvious. We have full health coverage for members and their family members. We have 3 pensions that are paid into by the contractors per hour that the member works. We have access to our very own health clinic that has physical therapy, nurse practitioner, acupuncturist, massage therapy, and medical physicians. One thing that we recently added last year was maternity leave for our young ladies, 28 weeks paid maternity leave. We also have life insurance policies that the union pays on behalf of the members. We have access to over 1,000 signatory electrical contractors, which our members can be employed with. And then we have an administration that negotiates our annual contract on behalf of the 13,000 members. And being 13,000 strong, that makes us our presence strong in this area. And we also have access to continual education that evolves with the technological advances and keeps our electricians up to date with technology. And then cherry on the top, we have free services through what's known as the National Coalition of Labor. And so where we get free vehicle towing, discounted legal services such as estate planning. So those is just some of the benefits that we receive. That's
nice. Thank you for letting us know that. You know, union medical benefits are such an important benefit for being unionized as a construction worker. So thank you so much for bringing that out. Next question. What should someone expect when entering an IBEW apprenticeship program?
Our apprentices are provided with theoretical and hands-on training to become Class A electricians. And this equips them to handle any type of job, to be able to perform any job in their classification. We give them a very strong foundation to build upon, and they also receive continuing education throughout the apprenticeship.
Thank you. Could you describe what a typical workday looks like for an electrician working on CTA or similar infrastructure projects?
What I can describe and tell you is there is no typical day for any electrician, and especially with CTA, because we have such a broad spectrum of work and unpredictable circumstances occur and challenges that we may face on a day-to-day basis. But that's where the training comes into play, and we're prepared, to handle any unsuspected situation that occurs. So no typical day for us. Never boring.
That makes sense, Beatrice. That's where training comes in handy and why it's so important.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you for noting that. IBEW Local 134 has worked to make the electrical trade more accessible. You mentioned how many members you all have and your continual growth. What advice do you have for young people or career changers looking to enter the field?
Well, the initial process of getting into our union is to sit for our exam, our aptitude exam. I would say, because it's highly competitive, sharpen your basic math skills. Very, very important. That seems to be an elimination factor for a lot of applicants. And also, you have to have a driver's license. That is mandatory to even apply for our apprenticeship. So those are just some of the basic things. And perhaps even to get some exposure to like our material handling or whatever, you might want to consider working for one of our signatory electrical contractors just to get some kind of introduction to our industry. Yeah, so those are some tips that I'd recommend.
All right, driver's license, very important, and experience in the field. Sounds good. All right, last question for you, Beatrice. How is technology like green energy, smart systems, or automation changing the work of electricians, and what skills will be most important in the next decade?
Well, due to the fact that society is moving towards a greener environment and using more renewable energy systems such as solar and wind generation and electric vehicles, 134 has made it a priority to provide our electricians with specialized training in that area. So even our seasoned electricians who have, such as myself, even I take classes at night, JW classes at night to prepare me for that space. I am the secretary for the Illinois IBEW Renewable Energy Fund. And so therefore I had to get, more education in that area to be prepared for such a position. So I had to learn some things about photovoltaics. I had to get certification in EV infrastructure. And so that's what we do. We prepare our electricians. We are constantly, our instructors are getting continuing education coursework through every year. And then they bring it back to the apprenticeship school. And at night, our JWs take those classes, and our apprentices, it becomes a part of their standard curriculum.
That's great, Beatrice. It's good to know that Local 134 is making sure that your staff are doing continuing education so that you can prepare future apprentice and current journey persons for the future.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, that's going to put us at transitioning over to questions for Marcus. Are you ready, Marcus?
I'm ready. I'm ready. It's a hard to sit there and follow up behind Miss B, but
That certainly was a lot to learn about the electrical union. I hope that those who are listening and interested in electrical work are inspired by that. Now, for questions for Marcus, again, Marcus is our outreach coordinator for the International Union of Operating Engineers, Local 150. Marcus, I'm just going to jump right into your first question.
Okay.
Kind of similar to Beatrice's first question. For those interested in pursuing a career as an operating engineer, what are the benefits of becoming unionized with IUOE Local 150?
So I would say the benefits of being in Local 150 is kind of the same, I would say, as IBEW, right? You're going to get access to a pension or two streams of retirement. So you get a pension system, and then you also get access to an annuity as well, all employer paid. A great wage scale, right? The union trades, we are the ones that set the wage scales for the market, right? So because we're the ones that set it, of course, we're going to be the ones that's going to set it at a high scale, right? For the ones that's doing the work. So you're going to have that. But the biggest thing that I would sit here and say is the fact of continuous education, right? In the construction industry, in the union trades as a whole, we are going to invest in, we as a union are going to continuously invest in you as a member, right? And that's just something that I see in different landscapes and different industries, that continuous education component that's free is something that you can't get anywhere else. So I would say that along with the representation on your job, as long as the wage scale, as long as the fringe benefits, everything as a whole is what you get from joining Local 150.
Those are some amazing benefits. I think about all the things that I get as an employee with CTA, and CTA is a really great employer, but I'm telling you, when I hear folks talk about work with the unions, it makes me want to encourage so many people who are good with their hands
Yeah.
I'm good with my hands, but maybe just typing. I'm not good with my hands in terms of tools and things like that. But I
Hmm.
just really want to encourage so many people to get into the trades because the benefits are amazing, as well as it's an in-demand industry that's paying a sustainable wage. So you mentioned like, the union set the pay scale for what that mandatory salary is, no matter what project you're working on, what company you're working for. That's really amazing, and it really speaks to why construction is a growth industry right now. So thank you so much for that, Marcus.
No, thank you. Definitely. I mean, if you don't mind, I would even, I mean, we talk about those benefits, but I mean, even the other fringe benefits that we all have. I mean, you're talking about um glasses, right? You paying, if anything, but $20, $30 for a pair of glasses when you break them. Dental insurance, mental health right now. We all understand now more than ever that that mental health component is a serious component in everyone's life. I mean, you can, through our own network, we have our own doctor's offices. You can sit there and access mental health completely for free within our own network. So, yeah, I mean, the benefits go on all the way to roadside assistance completely for free, which I use during the weekend. So, yeah, the benefit.
I can agree with you. I can tell that, laborers on CTA projects
Mhm.
are truly happy people when we go and do labor compliance visits and we talk to those men and women about their salaries and their quality of life and, what they're experiencing on those sites. I'm happy to say that, folks look well taken care of. Folks look to be happy with the wages that they're making. In addition to, wanting to be safe out there on our sites and performing work for our projects. So, sustainable wages help make for, I guess I could build a case that sustainable wages help make for safe construction sites or safe environments because, folks really want to do a good job when they're well taken care of.
Yes, ma'am.
Next question, Marcus.
Hmm.
IUOE Local 150 is known for its world-class training centers.
Hmm.
Can you share what makes the program unique and how apprentices gain real-world experience?
Ooh, so I would say what makes the program elite, what is the fact that it's a joint labor and management program. So what a lot of people don't know is they automatically think that because it's because it has the union stamp on it, it's marketed by the union, that it's just solely the unions and we have the only say so. And actually it's not. It's an industry partnership. So the board of our apprenticeship is comprised of labor, your union, your workers, right? The membership, as well as the actual employer, which is going to be your contractor. So as we build different curriculums that are needed, you're going to get the actual understanding from the contractor and the actual and member as well, the membership, right? The union side. So it's constantly changing with the industry. So if we look at heavy equipment, right? If we look at cars, we all sat there, remember driving, driving in those, well, I guess not everyone, but I remember driving around in a Grand Marquis 99, Grand Marquis, right? And remember when, if at that time, the portable CD player was the big thing at that time. And if you wanted to listen to that portable CD player, you had to put in that tape deck that had the string that sits there and plugs into the CD player, right? So you can listen to music. Now everything runs off of Bluetooth, right? Everything runs off of Apple CarPlay. So I don't even know if that's Bluetooth, Wi-Fi. I don't even know what it is now. But the industry is constantly shifting off the need. So our apprenticeship, because you have both representations of that industry, is also constantly changing within that industry need, right? So you're going to have the actual heavy equipment producer sitting on that board saying, "Hey, you know, we're transitioning into GPS systems within the next 3 years. So we need to build that curriculum out 3 years ahead of time. So that way the actual individual has the knowledge that they need. So when it rolls out, you already know 3 years before it happens. So, you know, constantly being able to be up with the new information that's needed for the industry. That's what sets us apart. And then also, I would say is the fact that, it is a brother sisterhood. So meaning your actual instructors that are teaching you are not someone that just has a degree And there's nothing wrong with it. I don't want to say that it's in a negative light, but it's not someone that just had a degree in teaching. It's someone that has worked in the industry for the last 20, 30 years, that has excelled in the industry, and they're the ones that's going to teach you not only what's in that book, but also practical real life experiences. Because we all know what's written down on paper is not always what's the reality in real life. So that's what I would say, not only for Local 150, but all union trades, in all industries, that's what sets us apart from just your traditional curriculum.
All right, Marcus, such good points you brought out there. I mean, everything from the fact that you can gain not just practical mechanical knowledge, but also opportunities to learn for management. And that's so important, especially for young people looking to go into construction, because there's like this urban legend with construction that construction is backbreaking work and there's no opportunity for growth. But that's quite the contrary, as you brought out. I mean, just one trade, operating engineers, is training individuals to not just be able to do the mechanical and physical part of the job and be well knowledge and well versed in that part, but also preparing you from apprenticeship for management roles and managerial knowledge and responsibility. Such an important point. Also, the fact that your teachers are, working in order to prepare folks for the future, right? Being up on what's happening in the industry and what's rolling out in the next few years, and being able to train those apprentice and journey persons on what it is that they need to know ahead of time. Such a great example you gave about how cars have evolved, right? I'm pretty sure that heavy equipment evolves in its mechanisms and its technology as well. So wonderful points there, wonderful points.
Thank you.
Operating heavy machinery comes with great responsibility, as you pointed out, Marcus. How does Local 150 ensure that safety is always top priority on the job?
Ooh, yeah, I mean, honestly, as soon as you get to the evaluation period, right? You fill out an application with us, and then you have an evaluation after we score your application. That 2-week evaluation is nothing but teaching safety, right? To the point where the modules that we have put in place, everyone approaches it thinking that we want to see if you can do the job. But in all honesty, those first 2 to 3 weeks is to see if you will listen on the job. So that way you can have a safe environment for the job. So I would tell you that is literally 95% of going to be what your training is as a whole within the trades. Is we can teach you how to do the job, but we can also teach you how to do the job safely, so that way you can get back home to your family. So again, I'll stress that enough, is that you're constantly going to get certification training like throughout your whole career. It doesn't stop. You're constantly going to have to get OSHA training and get reissued OSHA cards. If you go into the quarries, the pits and quarries, right, you're going to get MSHA training constantly, every year, every so many years that's required. Within our industry, there's a lot of state and federal certifications for us to be able to do what we do. And those certifications are to maintain a level of professionalism and safety. So, yeah, again, that we'll teach you the craft, but we'll also teach you how to safely do the craft. And if you can't, that's also one of the things of the trades. If you can't be safe, then, we have to make sure we look out for all of our brothers and sisters in this. Then this is not going to be a fit for you.
Makes sense. Thank you for that. Sounds like you guys are doing a good job to prioritize safety. With Chicago investing heavily in infrastructure and transit projects, what does the job outlook look like for operating engineers over the next few years, from your perspective?
Oh man, my perspective is the outlook is wonderful, right? I mean, that's one of the beauties about the heavy equipment operating engineers is that we touch so many industries because we're commonly called as a support trade, right? So meaning we're going to hoist things and we're going to move things that the average person, right, with your body, you can't do. You need equipment to do so. So, as long as CTA is running rails, right, running electrical rails through, electricians are going to be able to work, but they're also going to need an operator to hoist that conduit somewhere, right? Or to sit there and hoist those beams for tie-ins for iron workers. And I'm gonna tell you right now, for our industry, for the building side, which is CTA projects, work is great, right? Work is steady flowing. I will tell you that infrastructure. So when I say infrastructure, I mean like heavy highway infrastructure. I mean utility companies, right? People still gonna need power. They're still gonna need gas. So that work is still going. I will tell you though, like the building trade side, right? Like you're not seeing a lot of huge buildings being built in Chicago right now. But the beauty of ours is you'll just switch industry. If you're not doing a lot of hoisting and building work, you have the chance to switch over to heavy highway. If that's not working, you have the chance to switch over to what's called mass dirt removal or quarries or the rail yard. So I would say as a whole, work is definitely good. In our industry, work is always good because you have the ability to change into different pathways.
Thank you so much for pointing out the versatility of being an operating engineer, Marcus. I actually want to beeline back to Beatrice and
Yeah.
ask you that same question, B, with everything that's happening in Chicago infrastructure and projects. In your opinion, what does the job outlook look like for electrical workers over the next few years?
So with the fact that we have so many data centers coming up, uh, that is from what I understand, we're looking at a good solid 10 years of work at least from today. So that does not signify what's going to be afterwards. But right now, I mean, and when you think about it, with the renewable energy aspect of things and the grid being overloaded, I mean, I don't foresee us running out of work anytime too soon, actually. So yeah, I think we're looking pretty good.
Well, that's a very good thing to hear if you're interested in going into the electrical field and or operating engineers. And that's a great point, B, because I think about all the talks around AI. You know, someone's going to have to build those data centers. Somebody's going to have to do the electrical work in order to make that AI possible as that sector continues to grow. So you definitely brought out some really good points there in terms of the outlook for electrical workers. And you too, Marcus, in terms of operating engineers. I have one more question for you though, Marcus, before we end our speaker presentations. And that's for someone just starting out, maybe watching this webinar today for the first time and they're thinking about a career in the trades. What's one piece of advice you give them about building a long, successful career in the trades?
Ooh. So I would say the first thing you're going to need to do about building a successful career is literally research all the 26 trades. Research every last one of them. And when I say research, don't just, lightly, let me go to this website for the Glazers Local 27 or for Operating Engineers 150. I mean, literally take your time, go to the website, look up numbers to the apprenticeship, right? Call the apprenticeship, ask questions. They will answer, or they will send you to someone who will and can answer them for you. Then from there, use YouTube to research that. Once you make that decision on, there's multiple trades that I would like, or one, but I tell you, look into multiple that you can see yourself doing for a career. Then from there, look into a pre-apprenticeship program, right? Especially if you have no construction experience, look into a pre-apprenticeship program because those certifications, the knowledge that you'll get from them, and then what those pre-apprenticeship programs are tied to for public funds and different things like that, that'll help push you forward and getting an idea of how to navigate. And then from there, once you get in, I'm going to tell you the best thing you can do is do not formulate your own opinion. Just listen. Listen. Listen, even if you do not agree, as long as it's not hurting you or doing something unsafe. Listen, learn, watch, do your full-blown apprenticeship, your 4 or 5 years, whatever that time frame is. And then once you journey out, you'll have a great understanding of the industry as a whole to where you can give back to somebody else. That's how I would structure that for anybody. That's how I structure for my own child, my own children, friends. You do that, you will be successful in the trades.
That's great
Oh,
advice.
and wake up on time. Be on time. And time is an hour early.
Yeah, time is definitely important for CTA as well. So that's just something that I think is universal. Good advice for someone wanting to build a successful career in the trades. Before we end our speaker presentations, B, I have to give you an opportunity to answer that same question. You know, what's a piece of advice you give to someone looking to build a long, successful career in the trades?
In addition to what Marcus said, I would definitely, I mean, the research part is extremely, extremely important because everything isn't for everyone. I definitely agree with the pre-apprenticeship thing. I personally did a pre-apprenticeship with Chicago Women in Trades, and that gave me the foundation and made me know that being an electrician is what I wanted to do. As far as soft skills are concerned, definitely have a respect for the time element. Absolutely. Um, so many people get laid off just because they can't get to work on time. I've seen it so many times, and I witnessed it last week. Someone called me complaining about being laid off, and I found out she was habitually late. So, I mean, those are just the basic elements that, yeah, I definitely repeat exactly what he said.
All right. Thank you guys so much for a robust conversation about careers in the skills trades. If you are looking at this webinar and you're someone who wants to get some resources for where you can begin that research, email us at workforceinitiatives@transitchicago.com. We can provide you with information on our workforce partners that help with pre-apprenticeship training and placement support. We also can provide you with a list of the websites used for research in this presentation, including the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the Cisco website, and also more information on our Red Line Barrier Reduction Funds available with all of our CTA workforce partners like Chicago Women in Trades and others that you may be able to benefit from. All right, moving right along here. It's time for question and answers. I'm going to briefly check our chat and see if we have any questions and answers today. I'm seeing none, but I want to give attendees a moment to perhaps enter something in the chat if they have any questions of our speakers or myself even representing CTA today.
Can I just give a little plug for IBEW Local 134? If someone is specifically interested in signing up for the test, they can go to ejatt.com. And there they will find the curriculum and all the requirements to apply for our apprenticeship.
Thank you for that, Beatrice. If there are no questions and answers for this series, we will move right along. I want to briefly share with you guys upcoming CTA Workforce Initiative events. We have an in-person event coming up. Our Q4 Workforce Outreach event is going to be at Truman College on Wednesday, November 5th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. I'm sorry, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Little typo there. It's going to be at 1145 West Wilson Avenue in Chicago, Illinois. You can register now using that QR code on the screen. That registration QR code is for both exhibitors as well as attendees. Walk-ins are welcome, but we encourage pre-registration where possible. We also have our next construction talk coming up on Monday, November 24th at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. Again, our construction talks are a monthly webinar that happen every fourth Mondays at 12 p.m. There'll be new topics every month. And if you want to register for the November or December session, you can use the QR code at the bottom of this screen. I do have one question in the chat before we push to the end. So this is to both of you all from Dallas Gordon. For those in need of math assistance, where can they go?
So I would say for the operating engineers, you're definitely going to want to go into any pre-apprenticeship. Again, this is why those pre-apprenticeships are so vital. Is that way that you can get the full wraparound services on if it's math, if it's resume building, if it's honestly English for certain things, right? Those pre-apprenticeship programs are going to be like one of the best things you can ever go do because they do the test prep as a whole.
I agree with Marcus. And if you want to just have, there's a website called mathisfun.com. And you can go there and practice problems every single day, especially decimals and fractions and numerical sequencing. Those are a big, a big part of the math portion of our entrance exam.
And I would say on our end for the operators, we don't do an entrance exam on our end, but you're still going to need understanding of math, especially during our evaluation process. And the math that we're looking at is going to be exactly decimals, fractions, conversions, right? Being able to convert from um, standard to metric or vice versa, being able to do that. Um, and then like being able to understand like minor equations. That's going to be something big on our end. And then that's also, I mean, same thing. I'm going to do a quick plugger too, like Ms. B. So if you're actually interested and you're looking into our actual application process, you can go to www.asip, local150.org. So ASIP, ASIP, the local, LOCAL, the number 150.org.
Thank you guys so much for that. We have some questions
Okay.
after all here. Next question, safety. Can you talk about drug-free requirements?
Okay. So in the initial process, once you take our exam and say you placed high enough to get offered a seat, we do have drug screening. We screen for everything, and it is a hair follicle test. We screen for everything except for marijuana because marijuana is legal in Illinois. Now, say you do the apprenticeship, you're accepted in, we do random drug screening throughout your career. You have 24 hours to report to do the test. Now, if you are placed with a contractor who has a job site on a federal job, then they possibly will test you and they may test you for marijuana. So, there is the difference, as far as requirements are concerned with that. And that's it.
Thank you, B. Marcus?
Yeah, so with the operating engineers, we do test throughout your full-blown apprenticeship. You're going to get tested like through your, like when you actually get in, you could potentially get tested during the evaluation period. And the reason for that is because within our program, you have to get a CDL. So a CDL is governed through federal compliance, which means you're going to be drug tested. Also, like when Ms. B said, if we understand the state law is marijuana is legal. However, we work on a lot of public funded projects, so federally paid projects, and if they will require drug tests, and if you honestly do not pass the drug test, that is contingent on your job, right? You can't be on the actual job. So well, we sit here, we have a zero tolerance for drug usage. So yes, this is definitely an industry. It's construction. You need to be clean. And that's one of the main things we talk about within safety, right? Is you cannot have an altered mind. So drug free.
All right. Thank you so much, Marcus and Beatrice, for answering those questions. I'm getting in the chat, great conversation, and thank you. So I'll move right along. If you're interested in knowing how to stay connected with us, You can check your email for upcoming CTA outreach events and construction talks if you've ever registered to one of our events before. For job openings with CTA construction contractors, you can connect with our workforce partners, Chicago Women in Trades and Hire 360. The logos are right there on your screen. You can also visit our website for CTA job openings, internships, and more at www.transitchicago.com/careers. You can follow us on CTA social media, LinkedIn at Chicago Transit Authority, Facebook at Chicago Transit Authority, and Instagram at Chicago CTA. For questions about this construction talk, or if you just have general questions about resources or any information provided here today, you can email us at workforceinitiatives@transitchicago.com. Again, thank you all very much for choosing to be with us today. We hope to see you at our next month's construction talks, where we will have more amazing guest speakers, and our topic will be apprenticeship pathways, how to become a union apprentice. Until then, stay safe and stay mobile and stay connected. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.